Hey guys, my name is Andrew. I'm a data scientist here in Silicon Valley, and I've been making six figures ever since I've been out of school. With me, I have the illustrious Professor Meatball. He is a PH doctorate from the University of Cornell, and with me as well is a Almirage. This is a bunny unicorn. Very, very rare and very, very fluffy. Why did I show you this? Well, it is just as rare to see this in the real world as it is to find a less than 40-hour work week where you get paid significantly more than your peers. By the end of this video, you're going to learn exactly how to put your time right where it matters. You're going to learn a couple of tips and tricks about exactly what it means to be a self-starter, what it means to have skills that scale, and what it means to start making six figures right out of school. To illustrate what a data scientist really does and how you can start learning skills, let me show you a small comedic skit. Don't go anywhere. Hi, it's Aaron, the analyst. Oh, Aaron, come in. We finished that forecast, and I think you want to see it, boss man. Which technical languages did you use to write up the forecast? We used Power BI. And Excel. Okay, well, listen, you might have to rope in Andrew on this. Are you sure that we should get Andrew on top of this? Yeah, the data scientist. The data scientist? I think that we need this report to be a little more technical for the stakeholders. Okay. I'll talk to him. All right. Good luck. Andrew? What? Models training. We have a forecast we were wondering if you wanted to work on. Okay. Give me a LaCroix and 20 minutes and I'll finish it. Did you like that? That video probably had more questions than answers. In fact, it's probably questionable to ask you, why does everybody in that office look the same? What exactly does an analyst versus a scientist do? And how do I smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm to make myself and Andrew and Professor Meatball happy? If you are new here, welcome. That subscribe button is waiting just for you. And with that further ado, let's get going. Let's break this video down to three specific sections. Section 1 is going to cover the skills you need to be eligible for jobs like FANG and for tech jobs that keep your work week low and your payment high. The second section of this video is talking about different ways to diversify your income so that you are still making a ton of money while keeping hands off as much as possible with different ways to make more income. The third part of this video is about keeping your expenses low. It's important to be able to have money in order to compound it with whatever investments you want to make. So if you spend it all on living expenses like rent and food, then you're ending up with a lot less than you could have. Money begets money, and that's why I want to teach you exactly how I keep my expenses low. If this video really did it for you or made you smile in any way, hey, I have a trade for you. If I give you the cutest picture of Meatball you ever done seen, would you smash that like button? Trust me, as soon as you do, that picture's gonna come up. It's not gonna come up until you do it. Look, just do it. Okay, the first section of this video really boils down to branding. Now, you can have very fancy technical skills like being able to have really sharp statistical inference, Bayesian statistics, SQL, Python, be able to tune hyperparameters of machine learning models. But all of that said, if you don't know how to brand yourself, even if you have those skills, it doesn't actually pay. Let me give you an example. At the beginning of this year, I didn't know how to use Premiere. I didn't know how to market myself as an entrepreneur trying to get as many eyeballs as possible to click through. Slowly, I was able to hack my growth by learning as efficiently as possible. I went on YouTube and looked at people who were similar in my vein and then try to map their successes onto what I could do in my particular niche. The road along learning all of these specific skills like marketing, different backlinks, and understanding how a business is run all by yourself is daunting, but the way that I learned it is the same way I learned my first coding languages as well. Taking it a step at a time, working through a sprint-like schedule, and being able to set goals and conquer them is an important step. If you find it difficult to focus and you're trying to complete one thing, but you try to get to another thing and then you kind of jam them together and nothing gets done, here is an easy way to get started. Oftentimes known as the Pomodoro method, but I like to put my own personal spin on it. It involves setting a timer. If you have a smart speaker or one of these phones, you can put 40 minutes on there, which is a good amount of time for your average attention span. You can lengthen it or shorten it depending on your personal preference. But if you work through that entire section while not being distracted by TikTok or Instagram or your phone, hopefully try to put this phone as far away from you as possible. You should be able to get a ton of stuff done, but it's okay if you get distracted. What is that over there? This is a little notebook with cute little corgis on it that I think you will find very helpful. Use this notebook and write down every time you are distracted. You could be distracted by multiple ways: opening up social media, opening up Reddit, opening up news, opening up something that is not something that is currently on your to-do list or your goals. Then taking that down and then writing down how many times you are distracted during those 40 minutes can be very intuitively helpful for your growing self. At the end of the 40 minutes, make sure you take a 5 to 10 minute break. If you take a 5-minute break, that breaks down your whole session to 40 plus 5. If you take a 5-minute break, go ahead and clear your mind and do whatever you want to do. TikTok, Instagram, but make sure that you set a 5-minute timer and come back in 5. 40 plus 5 is 45. If you double that, that's an hour and a half. And then 3 hours, it becomes an easy, manageable chunk of time that will help you be able to plan your whole day out. The next step is to go into your Google Calendar and actually set 40-minute blocks about what you want to accomplish in each of these Pomodoro blocks. Again, if you get distracted, write down how you got distracted, and here's the important kicker: take the full 5 minutes. Take an impromptu 5 minutes and do whatever you want. Eventually, it's going to kick in that your brain realizes that this is actually a bit of a punishment of sorts. You get sidetracked, well, then you stay sidetracked for a full 5 minutes. This prevents you from ruining the entire 40-minute block and helps you focus up on how many times you've actually taken 5-minute breaks when you weren't supposed to. This is how exactly I was able to learn skills like SQL and Python, as well as statistical questions and interview questions, especially when I was grinding for my lead code. If you're curious about the content of the skills that you should learn, check out my $0 or $1 data science Bible if you want to be a data scientist, or go to YouTube and check out all the different guides of end-to-end how to become a successful tech person, either in software engineering, data science, or etc. The second part of this video is about supporting yourself by working smarter, not harder. This involves passive income. Passive income is something that I've very recently gotten into thanks to YouTube, and it is something that pays you even though you've put in minimal to zero effort in maintaining it. Now, that doesn't mean that there is zero work put up ahead of time. This is akin to buying a Dairy Queen, paying the staff, having it manage itself, and then reaping the small margin of profit on top. Sure, every week or so you have to call in and make sure the Dairy Queen is okay, but most of the time this will be considered as passive income. If you're a student and you're wondering how to get started, consider starting a website or a blog. A website that provides a small service such as ranking popular stocks or tips on how to ace FANG interviews, for example, you would be able to then start turning that into a listserv in which you would start collecting emails and being able to turn some of those emails into people who want to upgrade to a premium option. Let's be clear, this will make very little money to begin with, but ultimately it'll become a passive income as you are able to serve this in the cloud and then have emails and premium users roll in. This is much better than a job like babysitting or even one-on-one tutoring. Everyone's situation is different. If you need cash right away, of course, go ahead and get that part-time job, work on that cash register. But if you have the ability to, the privilege, might I say, you should be able to start looking into jobs that are passively income. I'll make a video entirely about this soon. In fact, I've already made a video covering my passive income streams. Check that out if you're curious. Go in the comments down below if you want to hear more. And let's move on to the last section of this video, which is about frugality. Frugality, penny pinching, economic minimalism is nothing to be ashamed of. In fact, it is all the rage thanks to Graham Stephan, Andrei Zik, and a lot of different people online. It involves getting the same experience, a good quality of life as a lot of other people, but at a far lower price. One of the biggest expenses that you can cut directly out of your life is subscriptions that you do not use. When you have a chance, and I know it's a lot to ask, check out your credit card or your bank statement for the kind of subscriptions that you don't use. Maybe you find out that you're actually paying for Netflix or a scooter premium subscription or a cupcake magazine that you are currently not really getting a lot of value out of. A few dollars here and there really add up, especially if it's a monthly payment. Another hidden cost is the cost of not finding out if your company comps you for certain living expenses. If you're lucky enough to work for a company that supports phone bills or electricity bills or ergonomic bills, then that is an excellent thing to start talking about with your HR person. Not only tech companies do this, a lot of companies do this in different industries, so you never know if you've been missing out on a $50, $100 comp per month, especially now during the quarantine and the pandemic. Third big way to save is to rethink how you reward yourself. It ends up not making a ton of sense if you find a habit of rewarding yourself by going downtown, spending a couple $100 on drinks every other month, or more likely going to the movies, going somewhere nice to eat, having that be a part of your life that spends $50, $100 every week. Instead, consider picking up a hobby that creates. Find joy in hobbies that create things around the house like decoration and art, or find joy in enhancing the
subsistence living you're currently living in. The joy of being able to create, even if it's just you talking to your camera with your dog next to you and this cool guitar that looks like an axe, really ends up being a worthwhile way to treat yourself and build that habit of learning and growing rather than consuming and commerce. That said, that's an end-to-end overview of exactly how you can achieve a six-figure job for working less than 40 hours a week right when you graduate school. If you start building these extra healthy habits in high school, then more kudos to you. If you start building these in your late 20s or 30s, that's not a problem. Anytime you can start working smarter, not harder, is an excellent time for you. The most important part is perspective, and being able to grow every day really is something to be admirable of. And you guys are seeing these uploads more frequently, more on a regular schedule. I hope you enjoy the hustle. If you do and you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that. Check out a couple of the links down below because it helps out the channel, supports your local data leap. Here are those patrons, and the patron of this video is Hugo Viotti. He was one of the people that took advantage of the $1 patron tier, which is still going on for a week or two. And if you are curious about what that means or any of the stuff that I talked about, head down to the description to check out more. Follow me on Instagram. I'm starting to post every single day there. And for now, but not for forever, as always, peace. Building a habit